Okay, just wanted to show these are both brand new out of the box before I get started. Of course, I've already got the Enduro out of the box and ready to row. Okay, let's look at these two head to head right here. Okay, stock versus stock. This is a pretty good little climb for any stock truck. Most of them have problems. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, that made it on the stock tires, the C10, because really it needs some tires. Okay, so it made it. A little bit of work there, but it did make it. It could definitely be helped out with some tires for sure on the C10. Now, the tires on this Element are softer. They're actually better. I'll give it that. They are better tires than you'll see here probably. Right there's where it wants to be. There you go. There's part of the problem right there. I'm going to give it a gimme. Put it back here because that may have been my driving. But it sits so low with these tiny tires, because they're even smaller than the stock C10s there, that it can't quite get over this. I've tried it and it just slides off that edge. And it might go eventually if I see it's gone there. And it's hard to do a comparison like this because some of it could be my driving. I might be hitting it different with this truck, whatever, but it sits a little bit lower than that C10, so I kind of have to. Right there, the C10 was still pulling, okay? And there's the power of one cell. That's your problem. The C10 had the 2 cell. It just kept spinning out of that. This battery's fully charged. It can't do anything. And then you're rolling over. That 1 cell battery is just not enough to do anything real. First little bind you get in, it's done. Right there. That's where it should pull out. Okay. I can sit here all day. So that's why I was putting a 2 cell in it. Because without it, it's not going to do much. Okay, so I really doubt either one of them's probably going to make this. It doesn't look that tough, but for some reason it always sucks the trucks to the right. And some of the modded trucks even have to hit it a few times to get up it. So you can try to ease up it.
That's a cool truck.
You like it? Which one?
The
Go ahead,
tail
point
one.
at it. Which one do you like?
Yeah.
You think that's cool?
Seems like for now it's Chevy.
Yep. See, I rest my case. That's a 9-year-old said that this was cool because it's a Chevy.
Well, it looks like a Chevy. I don't know.
It actually is a Chevy. That's one of the.
I know it.
best things about that truck. So. Come on. It almost had it. It just, it don't quite have the power it needs. That's wide open. Woo. I mean, I like how this truck's laid out. It bounces pretty well. And like I said, the tires are actually pretty dang good for RTR. They're just small. I feel like it can make this, which would be pretty impressive for it. Come on, man. It just needs a little bit more power to get over that bump right there, because if you can get that left front tire right here, you're good. For anybody that's going to say I'm giving it too much throttle, it's because it won't pull if you don't, because that one cell just don't have the, look, it's not pulling there. It finally starts and it's wide open. There's no variable there. Look, that's full throttle right there and it won't even pull. Come on. Oh, it's almost got it. Come on. It just needs a little more height and power. And that's what I was trying to do to it when I changed the tires and the battery, but then it wouldn't handle it. There we go. Come on. See right there, you need that extra clearance. It wouldn't be dragging. So it made it, finally. That's really good, actually. Let's try it with this one.
This one has iron wheels. Oh, and he has made it.
A whole lot easier. That's not cut straight video. A lot easier with the C10. That's really good, actually, that the C10 did that. But there it is. Those two straight out of the box. Let's find another spot. This hill here is where my other stock C10 would hang up on this crest. So I think they're both, well, I know they're both going to have trouble with this. The thing is, with the C10, you can fix it real easily. And I did a mod video for the C10 before that showed how to take care of that. Raise the belly just a little bit. Or some good custom brass links. You can watch my how to make your own brass links video And you can make some high clearance links would help clear this as well. Gosh. Look at that, guys. Wow. That's the first time I've ever made it up with a stock truck, I promise you. First time ever. Let's try the Element. It's got better tires, for sure. I feel like that battery in the back kind of defeats the purpose of the motor up front. Because if it shouldn't be that tipsy already. I almost think these tires would pull it. Part of the problem is, that's wide open on this truck. As you see in the C10 spinning out. I know I can make it to there. I just want to see if I can get it to pull out of that. Let's try about right there. I just almost feel like those tires, but that's wide open. Like, if it had that power, and for the motor being up front, this thing's not very front heavy, honestly. Almost. It's just that's wide open throttle. If it had a little bit more, I feel like it could do it. Right there. Come on. It's crazy to me that's that tipsy. See, there's the problem. So if you try to ease into the throttle, to ease up it, it almost like sometimes won't even pull. Like I'm trying to just get a little bit there and it won't do it. A little more, a little more, a little more. I'm full throttle and it's not pulling. Do you hear it? You can't ease into it. It just goes. And then it's not like it has a ton of power anyways, but, and it could. The motor's good. Okay, let's do the descend here and see what happens. This is a pretty tough spot for all of our trucks, really. In stock, it does really well. Very well balanced there, you can see. So it kind of depends where you go from there. If you keep your balance even, it should be good. This is the way the truck comes. The C10 just made it in its stock form, stock battery location, and all that. So the throttle's a little more jerky, like I've mentioned, so it's a little bit harder, but got it. So that's pretty slick. I knew this truck was pretty well balanced as it comes out of the box. It's just when you go trying to add stuff to it, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, just for a little comparison of what can be once you start mods on this.
Modding it?
The 3S, okay? Stock ESC. I do have a different motor in it, which is basically the motor that's in the Enduro, barrage motor or whatever. So let's see what this can do. Same spot we started with the other truck. Okay. So you can see I've got some high clearance links I made on the back of this, and I raised it up by moving the shocks around, and just a lot of mods, okay? So that's what I want to talk about with these other trucks. So this spot here, what I'm trying to get at here is you can easily mod this SCX24 and make it do some of these things. Okay, this truck don't have that many mods. Now let's go over why you can't mod this to do the same thing. Okay, so a couple things here. To start with, I wanted to show the flex you get with the steering. See that body movement? That's bad on a hill, because if you're on a hill and that body shifts like that, when you cut the wheels, it's going to cause rollover. The main reason it does that really is because the servo is mounted on the chassis. So, you know, it makes that movement. It's got to take that movement somewhere. This one's on the axle, so the movement gets absorbed. Those lights are bright. Down in your axle, versus rolling the whole truck. That's not a huge deal. One of the big deals with the servo being mounted up here is you're limited on travel because of this arm. So you have this arm right here that's connected to the servo, which is connected to the chassis of the truck, which is connected to the axle. Okay, so that's like all the travel you can get. So I was going to move these shocks down to the chassis like we all do on the SCX24, because it gives you better articulation and better travel, longer travel. When you're dropping off of something and you're dropping those front wheels down, that can really drop, okay? Whereas this, when you're coming off of something, that front end can only drop so far, and then it's just going to take the whole truck with it. So when you're coming off of something, you can only drop a little bit, and then just the whole truck's going to drop. Whereas this, you can come off of something and see how that servo will travel without taking the body of the truck with it. So that makes a huge difference on what you can and can't do with the articulation of this thing. The other thing I'm not a big fan of are the lights coming on with the throttle. It's kind of a neat idea, but it's annoying. Because they're off, they're on, they're bright, they're dim, whatever. You can adjust the trim on the throttle to give it a little bit of trim to where they stay on, but then they still flash here and there, and they're bright. And okay, and you can see what this ESC is doing now. I don't even know what it's doing. Whereas these are on all the time. I don't know why they put them on the C10 down here. They come with the pods ready to mount on the actual headlight. Main reason they do it is because you can't flip the body up with the short wire. So what you can do for like $11 is get one of these switches. Plugs in, it's a longer link anyways. Move those lights up to the grill, to the headlight where they belong. And so now the lights are in there, and you have control of them with your stock transmitter. You can use your channel 3 to flip the lights on and off. So that's really cool. You could probably put one of those switches on here somehow. It's a different connector for those, so you might have to change the connector or something, but you might be able to do that. I don't know. Don't really care. Not going to mess with it. The main thing, there's a lot you're not getting with this truck. You're getting Phillips head screws everywhere, which are going to strip. You got bushings all through the truck, in the wheels, gears, everywhere. Diffs, there's bushings in there on your axles. Where's this? Your full bearings. Okay, these bearings from this will fit in here and replace the bushings. That's another probably 15 to 20 bucks. I don't know how many bushings are in there, but those little bitty bearings are not real cheap. I've had to buy them to replace some. Shocks may be a little better on the Element. They look a little better anyways. The shocks are horrible on this, to be honest with you. I mean, they work, and a lot of people actually just run them, but I pretty much always go with something different. Really my favorite, probably these CR24s. You see I got the light switch on that too. Or if you're wanting a lot of flex, the Charismas work really well. Okay. So shocks, Element probably wins. Not a big fan of the servo up here. The motor up here is a nice touch, but with the battery in the back, it's like a wash, really. With this 1S, maybe not so much, but if you go anything bigger than this, that motor up front doesn't really matter. The ESC is in the back, so it really doesn't matter. Your ESC here is more forward mounted. They're both balanced pretty good the way they are, so that's not a huge issue, but one of the big kicks to this is the motors in the front. That doesn't really do you that much good. The fact that you can't really get the flex out of this is kind of crazy. I mean, if you look at the way this thing will flex, because of the servo, that's even got a rear servo, because the servo's on it, on the axle there. You can never do that with this. Okay, unless you make some kind of crazy mount. So stock versus stock, it's not a bad truck if you're going to leave it stock, in my opinion. Tires are better. They're just tiny. I think you can see that difference. So they're a little better tread, I believe, but they're so small they're almost useless. The driveline, like I said, I've already had problems with this popping loose right here and here. Probably about 5 or 6 times total. I snapped, popped the front axle loose. That'll be in the video. So I just don't think the durability and the customization is here for this Element. So, and to me, the C10's a clear winner. This is not a bad buy. You can do whatever with it. But for the same money, I'm sure these lights are blinding everybody. You know, you're getting the fully licensed body that looks cool, straight out of the box. In my opinion, much better ESC transmitter. I actually kind of like the small transmitter this has, but I feel like for control, the C10 is better, and you can stand it up. This won't stand up hardly. at all. That's not a big deal, whatever. But what do you think? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think. What should I have covered on the review? Probably should have did a side-by-side wheel speed, but with the 1S that comes with this and 2S, there's not even a comparison. To me, clear winner, C10. Probably be some people that don't like that. Be a lot that do. Whatever. This is not a bad truck. I don't want to just completely trash it, but the fact that Team Associated just grabbed it and threw the Element name on it and went with it and didn't do anything. If I had to do it over again, definitely would not buy it. What's the point? But I wanted to test it out for you guys. So let me know what you think. Appreciate everybody watching. Peace. All right, so I changed the wheels and tires. Put the 2S in there. I left the body off so we can kind of see what's going on. It's not very controllable. Okay, well, there's another problem. Haven't had that one yet. Look at that dog bone, there's only one side on it. And that just completely came off.